Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Neki broadcast. Today we are continuing our world conquest adventure, and I have to be honest with you guys, I'm getting really excited because we are relatively close to the end, right? We are at scenario 4, and if we make it to scenario 4, we are qualified into the last scenario, which will be a challenge simply because last time, as we know, we lost it. And as I'm playing more and more World Conquest, which is a quite complex mode, I'm starting to think that it is a really interesting way of playing Wesnoth, simply because I believe in World Conquest, strategy is even more important than tactics, and I will be sharing with you my theory throughout these well, I did it throughout these casts. So basically, I qualified for scenario 5. You already know the outcome. That's why I'm telling you this is incredibly interesting. Why? Because I am in a difficult situation here, and only strategy saved me. And because of this strategic consideration, I have a theory now, and is probably an idea that came to me while I was discussing with Dauntless. I have a theory now that speed is actually the most important training trait that you should be getting. Why? Well, simply because it enables you to have those strategic decisions, right? So let's say now, for example, in scenario 4, I'm quite close to my opponent here in the south side, right? Let's call him south opponent, and I can't really be fighting him head on. I don't have the necessary army and upgrades yet. I need to be running away from him. Well, if he was something like, you know, a lawful faction, perhaps I could engage him a bit, but if I engage him head on, none of his units on the eastern flank will go east. They will just make a 180-degree turn, and they will attack west, and I'll be dealing, instead of half an opponent, I'll be dealing with a full opponent, and that's just suicidal from my part. So it makes a lot of sense to simply run away. So stay tuned. I will basically show you the importance of strategy in World Conquest and why I think speed is most important. Although you remember, I did not get speed this game. However, in future World Conquest games, I can tell you the first World Conquest that I'm casting, I will be getting speed as my first upgrade and speed 2 as my second upgrade. You can say, Neki, you are running around with paper soldiers. That might be true, but paper soldiers with the right positioning, attacking at the right time, and so on and so forth. Plus, in the later scenario 5, having all your army, or most of your army. You could make it all if you are careful which units you promote, which units you select. You can even make it all, having all your army with higher speed than everybody else on the map really does help. So without further ado, let's see this extremely dynamic game. I don't remember, to be honest, because I just didn't have time to cast, so I don't remember most of it. So we'll be rediscovering it together, but it's definitely worth it. So ready yourselves, men. The conquering hordes are upon us. So we're going versus an orc. Then word has come to our island of your victories. Your army is impressive, but it will avail you not. So elf, and indeed you come this far and no farther. So another orc. And another elf. Oh, never mind. That's me. That's me replying back. We will destroy you as we have destroyed all that have stood before us. So be it. We stand squarely behind our allies. Now, this might be loyalist. I think it's loyalist, to be honest. It's a mage, so it might be loyalist. So 2 orcs, 1 elf, 1 loyalist. And of course, this is my faithful ally, green. Now, as I said, yeah, we are right next to an AI player, and he does not really have any place to go east. So all the more reason for him to be sending all his troops towards us. There is another player here, another AI player. He will be sending all his troops towards us as well. This is suicidal. I have to be running towards left. Actually, there's not much left to run to. Anyway, so I need to run top towards this. So I'm kind of forced to fight the western enemy here. Luckily for me, this particular enemy is not west as well. So this western enemy is more or less isolated. So from this perspective, if green attacks west, if red attacks west, we can get him into a nice sandwich. And remember, this is scenario 4, so perhaps this would have been a bit more difficult to achieve in scenario 2. But I believe that I have enough, or at least this is what I thought when I set up my strategy. I believe that I have enough units and enough upgrades to fight half an enemy, basically. So I think we are strong enough to crush this enemy if we both attack it. And once we get to this side, then basically it'll be very comfortable. I mean, relatively comfortable. Why? Because at least from this side, there will be no enemies coming, right? So we will, I mean, green, ideally, in an ideal world, green will fight enemies coming from north and red will come enemies coming from southeast, right? Ideally, of course, there's this cave here, there's some terrain which is not so accessible, but it can still be crossed by dwarves, although as far as I remember, there were no pure dwarves in this game. Anyway, so I decided to run towards this and run towards this again and make a sandwich, basically, and try to quickly dispatch of our opponent and then fight the others, the other 3 with the remaining forces. So let's see how we fared. The sound is a bit loud, so I'm just going to reduce it a bit. Okay, we are back. Hopefully the sound is a bit better this time. Let's see what we did here. So I'm going to do here human team. That should be fine. And now play side turn. Great. I believe I'm getting drain. Here there is a drain artifact, which I got. And I'm getting my slow units first. And I believe this one has some sort of, yeah, this one at least has some sort of artifact. Yes, this one does indeed. So you see here, has distract because of the artifact it's bearing. So this one has artifact. I believe this one has artifact as well. Never mind. I'm recruiting, I believe, slow units first, so I can run, right? And then I am training a bit so that I don't litter my keep with high-level units that basically are going to take up my supply. So I am trying as much as possible to be efficient in terms of cost, but at the same time, I'm trying to run quickly with the slower unit. There is an upgrade here. Yeah, I'm getting steadfast, I believe, and the best unit to put steadfast on would be a clasher, in my opinion. It works surprisingly well because it is a tanky unit, but it's kind of squishy in terms of resistances. So just doubling those resistances, it makes it so much better. I could put it on a ghoul as well, but the problem is the ghoul does not deal a lot of damage, so I can't counterattack with the ghoul. Could be put on a ghoul. I guess it could poison everybody, right? It could be just there, not getting attacked, poisoning everybody. So from this perspective, perhaps the ghoul would have been a bit better. I'm not sure. But yeah, I chose, as far as I remember, I chose a clasher. And let's see here. I'm not really interested in the grey side. Okay. There we go. Red again. And now someone is here. Perfect. Another upgrade and melee combat training level 2. This has been a fantastic run in terms of upgrades. And if I have a chance in scenario 5, in all these tries, it is this try. It's just upgrades have been absolutely fantastic. As you can see, I recruited 2 scouts, and I think this is important. People say, oh, I'm not recruiting scouts simply because, yeah, again, I want to talk about this recruit. I'm not recruiting scouts simply because they're not good at fighting. You are going to need cannon fodder anyway, so might as well be scouts. Why? Because scouts enable you to grab villages initially, and also you are seeing exactly what you are going against. So I'm seeing a chaotic faction, definitely. I mean, obviously the strategy was clear from the beginning, but I definitely don't want to stay here to fight a chaotic faction. I do want to run away and engage this Western opponent. So as you can see here, I had a level 2, but I gave the level 2. Oh, it's magical. Sorry, it's magical. I gave the magical artifact to this WoWs. Why? Because I don't want the WoWs to take up supply. The WoWs is going to level up anyway. It's a strong unit, and at the same time, as you can see, these units already have 0 upkeep because they do have artifact, and I recruited the ones with 5 movement again, prioritizing that idea of running and more trained units. I mean, look at this. Distract, 9 stock, concealment. This is a beast. And yeah, not that much of a beast, but still, this one with so many traits. I mean, so many sneaky plays can be done with that fighter. Anyway, we have here a long game ahead of us, so I should prioritize important plays as far as I can remember. So let's see here. Okay, as you can see, I'm marking this clasher, so he will be the one getting the artifact. And again, I'm prioritizing running away here simply because I recruited this necrophage, which is the slowest unit in the undead arsenal, and also this fire drake. It's a beast, but it's incredibly slow. And I'm trying to put again the skeleton and this skeleton closer. I mean, I'm trying to prioritize them for recruiting so that they can get as far away as possible. You see here, I believe I have training level 2, so movement point 7. That is fantastic. It's so much easier to run with Drake, with green, simply because newly recruited units, they do have this plus 22% move. I believe everybody has. For example, this one is an old unit though. This one will have plus 22% moves. So it's definitely training level 2. So it's just so much easier, so much more natural to run away with green than to run away with red. That's why I'm saying prioritize movement. You will have a struggle in the first scenario, perhaps in the second scenario too, but from there on, it would just pay itself. It would pay itself tenfold, I believe, in the later scenarios. Again, it's just my theory based on what I've seen in scenario 4 and other scenarios where I did need to run away from my opponents. Anyway, let's keep going here. So we have purple turn, which is finished. Then we have grey turn here. Oh, that is a beast. That is really a beast. And it has charge, so beware of that. Whenever you see that multiple upgrade, really beware, because it can be your undoing. And we have brown as well, which is a combination of loyalist and orc. Really important to look out for these special units and these artifacts, simply because they will be a pain to deal with in terms of defending against them. And also, if you prioritize them, then you can get the artifact as a bonus. So it is really, really worth it to simply destroy them. Okay, finally, you see, just 4 players. It will be a massive, massive game. So let us move forward here. Again, I'm not even looking back. I'm just running. The farther, the better. The reason I got this bonus point is because it's more accessible, right? This one, let's say it was an artifact. If it was an artifact and I basically detected it with a ghost, then it wouldn't have made sense to have the ghost pick the artifact up, simply because the ghost is heroic, and I would like the benefit of not paying upkeep to go to another unit, right? But then getting another unit through these swamps, through this beach, and through this water here, it would have been a pain. So it's going to take a while for green to get the artifact anyway. It doesn't really matter if it's this one or the other one, so I might as well get with the red player the most accessible artifact and move on as quickly as possible. I think I already recruited most of my units here, so I'm already starting to recruit Nothing notable here in terms of training. I'm already starting to recruit level 3s, so see, I don't care. Or I might have recruited this level 3 because it's 5 movement points and I wanted to just get him out of the way, even if it meant I was not optimizing cost in terms of recruits, but I did want to get him out of the way and maybe make some final recruits and then move on. Okay, here I'm just being annoying with this glider, trying to, and as you see, again here, I recruited 2 scouts. Taking villages, knowing exactly what you're going against. We're going versus elf here, so that is I would say a blessing, to be honest. Elf is a decent opponent, relatively easy to deal with. I mean, especially if I have burners, and you can see that I did not recruit burners. Why? Because I'm thinking about scenario 5, and in scenario 5 I do want leeches, and at the same time these dark adepts with their arcane attacks can deal relatively well with the wowsers, and I do have 2 burners here with leadership. They should be doing just fine. Again, these augurs in the back, 9 movement point. This is absolutely incredible. So it has plus 22 moves and it's quick. So you see the perks, speed. This one can be used as a scout. I don't even need scouts. Anyway, I'm going to play side turn. Let's see what this is doing here. Lots of scouts, which I'm happy to see, but also 2 elvish enchantress. So that would be an absolute pain to deal with. So now I know I'm busy. I know I'm running towards elf, but the best way to run towards elf is not simply place your units in such a manner that they are easily attackable, right? You need to place them in such a way that you push the back of your army as forward as possible. So let's say push this as forward as possible. Why? Because even if you push them as forward as possible, they will be away from elf. So you'll get a nice line here with everything. But the front, don't push it as far as possible. Push the front of your army in such a manner, or not necessarily push, place it. It might even be a small strategical retreat, so that you lure these annoying elvish sorceresses into their demise, right? Put a very strong unit forward like this troll warrior, right? 78 hit points. He will probably survive. Put them like just in reach of these, if possible. Of course, you might not be able to lure both of them. You might only be able to lure one, but even if you get rid of such a strong damage dealer, it's still better than just waltzing right into the firepower of 2. So other than these 2, I don't see anything that I'm particularly scared about, but this is really, really important because these will absolutely demolish my wowsers, even my trolls. So yeah, that's one thing to have in mind. That was, I think, a mistake of mine. I forgot this. I mean, I didn't necessarily forget, but I thought only the archer could reach me. I didn't see the wolf, so already starting pretty badly for me. Example here, only the archer could reach me, so the glider was fine. I was hoping to basically lure more units into this useless area, if possible, and I was successful. And that's another perk of recruiting scouts. You can lure groups of units, like here, 3 units doing absolutely nothing instead of attacking my main army. So I'm telling you, scouts are not to be underestimated. Every single turn, one should recruit in World Conquest 2 scouts. So you should at least 2 scouts every single turn. Okay, so now this is really important here, how I placed my units. So I would play side turn, and you'll be able to see exactly what I did afterwards. You see nice broken line formation, or V formation, depending on how you want to call it. Okay, and you can see everything. The last recruits are relatively, I mean, except this mage, which I kind of realized I wanted to recruit another mage. For example, this elvish ranger. It's the last unit I recruited, 7 movement points. This one doesn't matter. And these 2 as forward as possible. This one is trained, the elvish shaman. It has +1 moves, so only 1 movement here on red. So if you look at the elvish sorceress, it can only reach this beast, this troll warrior. Perhaps this one as well, 40, right? But if the Elvish Sorceress attacks the 40 troll. This Elvish hero cannot attack the troll. So either way, the Sorceress will be on flat and it will be an easy target. Right? So everything just very clumped up. It's a lot of... there's not much space left in my army. Anyway, here the situation is not that bad, or at least I can't see yet how the situation looks like, so I'll just be moving unit by unit. Okay, so I'm going back. I'm seeing, oh, okay, that's going to be another painful unit to deal with. So again, I want to lure it as soon as possible into my defense line, which will be kind of here. Again, I do want to move past this swamp. So this is a nice borderline. So I want to be in this area of the map. So whatever units are coming from this brown side, they are going to swim and get killed into the swamp. At least this is the main idea. And it does seem like I'm able to barely cross the swamp before I meet any resistance whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to scout much more here. Yeah, I'm just going to assume there are more units, but based on what I'm seeing, I assume this Fire Drake, which has 88 hit points, should be just enough to survive any kind of aggression. Also here, as you can see, I am placing my leader on this side, 64 out of 67, because whatever happens, you will be able to upgrade and regen. Here I saved, intentionally I saved these Drake warriors, really beefy and relatively mobile, 6 movement points. Had I had, I'm going back to that speed. Had I had speed in the first turn, these would have been probably 7 movement points. Drake warriors, it would have made my retreat so much more comfortable. Now I do need to take some hits before I can move on. However, this orcish crossbowman and this troll hero, they were chasing dreams here with the Drake glider, so they aren't in range of my army, and I'm even trying to lure them into the water. At least I'm trying to lure this troll hero a bit. So that would be interesting to see whether it works or not. So if we look at the Elvish Marksman, the only target that he can attack is this Necrophage, which is on 50%, and it will deal tremendous retaliation damage. Or this Fire Drake, which will also deal retaliation damage, and it will not die. So again, initial lures are really important. It goes for the bones. I do need some retaliation here to make my positioning comfortable. There it is, and you see this already has done most of the job. And luckily for me, the level 3 Elvish Sorceress is exposed, so now my only worry is basically eliminate the units that can kill me. What can kill me? Well, this can kill me, which is a level 3 Elvish Sharpshooter, but it's pretty difficult to get there. So main idea would be eliminate these two, right? Probably eliminate the village as well, simply because it's a strategic location, right? Also this archer, so ideally I would want these 5 units, so that's a bit spread out. These 4 units, if I can eliminate them and then place a punching bag, an offering for this sharpshooter, because it's difficult to, this sharpshooter deals 50 damage. I will lose a unit, so might as well be a punching bag, might as well be a disposable unit, right? So to basically make sure I deal with most damage dealers, and in terms of the +1 damage dealer, just give him an offering and hope he goes for it. So that would be my strategy at this point. As you can see, I'm already dealing with these annoying scouts. But it was not that bad. The Elvish Ranger does have a healer right next to it. So you can see I'm barely able to run here with the red player. If I had speed earlier on in the game, it would have been a bit better. It's going to come down to the wire, but I believe I can make it. Well, you already know I made it, but the question is how, and I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, bear with me to see exactly how I did it. It was a tough one, to be honest. It was a very, very close game, and it could have gone either way, so 50-50%. We will see relatively soon. I wonder if I could skip animation here for the AI. So in terms of orange, okay, that was pretty quick. Now I don't want to skip animation for red. Great. Remember, important targets. And also, I want, if possible, while I'm doing all this, to put the experience into the right units. For example, I'm trying to put the experience into the Elvish Shaman. He needs 2 out of 2. Okay, he got it. That is actually a big deal. So that is a really big deal. Now, okay, Wow's got the kill, but it's worth it. I don't mind. This is a good unit to invest in. Not a problem. And it's really important to dispatch of that quickly because I do have here a difficult position, right? I do need to. Okay, yeah, hero. Always use hero. Great. This is looking absolutely fantastic. Everything is going according to plan. Okay, nice. Yeah, managed to level up the Mage of Light relatively efficiently. Only 1 experience over. And that enables me basically to place the other units exactly how I pleased. I was relatively efficient. Everything went my way. So good start. I do need to push my units as far away as possible from these orcs. So I'm just going to play side turn here. So you see, I'm trying to use ambush here as a surprise element. Okay, Ghost, always a good recipient of experience. Troll is the one tanking a bit. And as you can see, problem is, because I delayed recruiting this Elvish Shide, this Elvish Shide can't really get far, so this Elvish Shide will need to tank a bit, a scout or 2, but I expect the Goblin Knight to try to go to this forest to attack the Elvish Shide from the forest, and I expect this ambush to activate. Also here, if we look at this troll, we can see it has Night Stalk and Ambush, so it's a really good unit, but unfortunately, I mean, I would need to invest 44 experience into it, right? So to make it an extraordinary unit, but it seems just like the most natural way to basically make this Elvish Sharpshooter not go for an important target. So the Elvish Sharpshooter will try to go, for example, for, not really sure, for this troll, right? Or for this apothecary, because the apothecary does not have any retaliation. So Elvish Sharpshooter will go, it will get ambushed short. The troll will die, but at least no unit that has experience will die as a result of this Sharpshooter's attack. I'm really curious here what happened with, okay, green first. So it would be really odd here, just trying to, you can see here what I did. Here, it would be great if I could get rid of this Wows as it's still night. So Wows, Marksman, and Archer. This seems that, especially since I don't know what's coming, I can find out with this bat what's coming, but it just feels I should be a bit more conservative on this side. The main issue here is getting my units past the line. I don't think I can deal with this Elvish hero. Although I do have a lot of sorceress lying around. However, this one can't reach the Elvish hero, so I do need to use something on the Wows. I think that with Wows it's a higher priority target because the Elvish hero is on 60%, is quite far back. I'm sure here nothing is coming to help this Wows, whereas here there might be something else coming. So I'm just going to play side turn. As you can see, I did go for the Wows and it went pretty well. However, I needed to commit 3 units, which means the attack, and see that I'm missing here like absolutely crazy. So okay, and experience, needed to do this earlier. I needed to upgrade my Elvish captain to an Elvish field marshal. And the positioning here is quite interesting. So these two can attack this Drake warrior, but they can't really zone of control him. So this Drake warrior can barely get away. Also, he can just run past this terrain. He can abuse flight and run to safety. On this side, these guys are relatively safe, so it should be fine. Shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. So let us see. This guy couldn't have run farther simply because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Had he run here, there would have been other problems. So yeah, you can see here the line again with the Fire Drake, 72 hit points. I'm pretty confident he won't die from 3 attacks because it's night. These units are lawful or neutral, so 72 hit points should be enough, I would say. And if they do attack the Fire Drake, they will get some pretty good retaliation back. So that it works my way. Let's see here. Play side's turn. Yes, Elvish Sharpshooter fell into the trap. However, this troll must pay the price. Getting pretty well hit there. But you see, I basically lured 3 units into their death. Oh, that was... Oh, wow, as well. Okay, I'll be honest with you, it's looking pretty well here. Why? Because I managed to lure 2 units, 2 level 2 units, Sharpshooter, Wows, level 2, Elvish Sorceress, level 3, and Elvish Sorceress, level 2, also Elvish Fighter, level 2. So I kind of peeled off all the level 2 units from this elf. As you can see, all you can see here, I mean, except this one, all you can see here are level 1s. There's a level 2 here, so 1 level 2 here, 1 stray level 2 here as well. Okay, a bit more actually. It's scenario 4 in the end, so there are a few level 2s still in the game. However, everything that's coming is level 1. So basically, I've dealt, by luring the appropriate units, I've dealt with the core of Elvish army, more or less, almost with the whole core of Elvish army. And I didn't get attacked here. So basically this, it's the Goblin Knight hasn't moved yet. So now let's see here, the Goblin Knight's turn. He goes for the weak target. He's not even interested in the Shide. Fair enough. It's a bit of a misplay here from, I mean, I couldn't have done any other way. Couldn't have done it any other way. That Goblin had to die. So on this side, I guess I can skip animation. So I do get, I mean, most of his army is moving towards me, and I do get some attacks here, as you can see. 2 on this side, 1 on this side, so it's pretty much as predicted. This one can't lure anymore. Obviously, he has to go back to safety because it's almost dead. You see these units, they are coming from here, from the middle east, and you see they have to go all the way here through all this terrain. They will be doing the long walk. So that is the beauty of moving. You basically also keep the enemy moving, and you are basically getting less enemies per minute than you would, or per turn than you normally would. So yeah, it's looking that our strategy is working, right? So let's see here. Orange is going to play because there was some annoying moves here. He did go for the Shide in the end. And you see Orange is splitting his forces. Some of them go north, they do the long walk, some of them go south. They are obviously going to be annoying in terms of red. Now, what I need to do, I mean, what I need to prioritize at this point, look at this. 22-3. 22-3. That is absolutely imbalanced. This should never happen. Why would, he's not even trained. How did he get 22-3? It's just, oh God, it's just, Anyway, so this is going to be an incredibly annoying unit to deal with. So that's why I need to kill these 4 units, push my army as forward as possible, and form some formal line to try to, try to survive this chaotic attack. If possible, try to avoid it. So I'm really curious here how I played. So leading first. Remember, this one has banner. So even if he can't really lead the Elder Wows, the banner does add some bonus to its damage. And I do need to get rid of these annoying units which are in the way. Putting experience in level 1 troll, why not? That was really painful, but I couldn't really keep investing resources there. And again, I moved the Wowzers here to attack this little guy. Why? Because Wowzers are really slow, so it's difficult for them. It's difficult for me to retreat them from this side, so I have to move them first, make sure they are as far away from the enemy as possible because they are not that mobile. At least this guy can hit level 3, although not as much as I wanted him to. Oh, come on, this should have been an upgrade. I must have been really frustrated with this miss here already. So these two units, remember last time I was quite lucky. Now I'm quite unlucky. I mean, it feels like I need ages to clear these units. So again, this lucky shaman from last turn. Okay, lucky again. That's good actually. I'm going to get an elvish sorceress pretty soon. At least is some hope. Now, I see I'm using this slot, which should have been used for this elvish trade, but I'm using it on the level 3. I must absolutely eliminate that level 3 if I don't want to lose more units. So those were some good hits. Again, I'm going around. This one is don't even know what this one is. Oh, not very impressive. Again, I'm just putting him forward, making sure I soften up this elvish sharpshooter. This one must be skirmisher. It's not skirmisher, but it has distract, night stalk, concealment, quick. So I'm putting him out in the open. He will be attacked, but I'm willing to lose a level 1 just to make sure I absolutely demolish the sharpshooter. Okay, I'm even ignoring this one. Great, so sharpshooter out of the way. I do have 3 slots on this javelineer, so okay, probably I wasn't very sure I was going to deal with javelineer, so I said, okay, let's deal with easier targets like this. That's this horse. That's great here, and that's a strong defensive position, 60%. And now finally mage in the middle, healing all these, and due to illuminate, he's able to deal decent damage, I think. Yes, that's decent damage. I would call that decent damage. It's one of the most defensive units in Wesnoth, so it's really lucky that I upgraded this Mage of Light when I did. However, now this Mage of Light illuminates for this troll, so the troll will deal less damage than usual. However, it's good enough with a bit of luck. And now, of course, always use the leader. Not the best target for the leader, but it would have to do. And yes, as you can see, I was expecting this one to be a shide, but it's not, because it missed unbelievably. So now, instead of having a 50% defender, I have a 40% problem, 31 hit points. I need to defend it, so I'm really curious. I need to cover it somehow, so I'm really curious how I did. Put the mage there, and now I need to cover the mage, obviously. So I kind of did some sort of semi-risky play, I would call it. I would call it risky, semi-risky play. So this troll is the pinnacle of my defense, so that should be, I would say it should be okay, because this slow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he can't really attack my troll. So that's fine, as long as I stay away from this great troll Ugg from Ugly, then I am going to be fine, which I think I was. See here, not really bothered about that scout. Okay, I shouldn't. Great, that was really a relief, because that could have slowed me, that could have caused tons of issues, and I believe this one is an interesting, okay, distract and leadership. This is definitely a very interesting Wolf Rider, worth watching. And now, great. Okay, this is the aura doing its damage. So you see here, it's not that bad. I even have here the element of surprise with the ranger, so I can't really catch an important unit, but I would say it's decent defense, and I did manage to push my units as far away as possible. So I would say mission successful in terms of running away from troll. It's second watch, so next time we will be dealing with red, it would already be dawn, so I already ran successfully away, and I did not hurry. I barely made it, but I did not hurry, right? I lured the right units into relatively weak positions, and then I stomped them. I lured, stomped, lured, stomped. If I had speed, I would have been even less worried about this, simply because with speed, I would have been able to make up for the lost time, lost terrain while luring. right? So it is fine, could have been better. Now here, I do have somewhat of a line of units, so it would be a bit more difficult to go around. I mean, it's a choke point. It's nice that I'm in a choke point. I can defend it easily, but it's also difficult to push through this choke point as well. So I'm really curious what I did here. Unfortunately, I got the experience on the captain. I mean, not unfortunately. Captain is always a good recipient of experience. But I'm desperately trying here to manage. As you can see, I'm moving my units back so I can get the right unit to attack the right enemy. Get that needed to hit 2 out of 2. That was an important hit. You can see the not really sure if I use the aura or not, but this aura, remember, it distracts. Good unit to receive experience. That was an important kill as well. Another level 2 eliminated. And here I'm just trying again to put the experience into the right units, and as you can see, I'm failing miserably, which means I have to use more units, and it means I have to be more inefficient in terms of eliminating the enemy. That was relatively decent. Again, healer around here. Again, it's important to use the healers first. Why? Because then you can cover them with other units, and you need them. I mean, they need to do something else besides healing in order to maximize your efficiency, right? So you can see I used healers a lot here. It's night. If I'm not going to use them now on a level 1, then when? Again, this is a slowed unit, and of course it doesn't hit. It just needed 2 out of 4. And this is the steadfast tenacity. This is an absolutely amazing unit, tremendous unit, as Trump would say. So I needed to get the experience into it. However, I'm forced to use yet another unit. I feel that I have an inflation of moves here. This one has leadership, so never wasted experience when you invest in this unit. And here I just felt that I could have done so much more. That's why instead of cuddling this fire drake, I make him work and goes for the wows. But look at the amount of healers. I basically try to slowly attack the enemy units. Could have been a bit more efficient here with a bit more luck. So I would say it's relatively decent. Again, I need to cover against this dire wolf rider, so you can see it's getting a bit I used all my units, and I need some units to cover. I mean, this dire wolf rider, for example, if he attacks this Saurian ogre, it's definitely lights out for the Saurian ogre. I need to cover it some way. And remember, there is this orcish sovereign coming, so this what seems like an easy position, it's not, because I had to use a lot of units per enemy unit to get the job done, and now I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel to try to cover my units. I have to bring some units from this side, as nothing interesting is happening there. Okay, that is good, because I use the unit from the left flank to deal with this unit. It means I have more units on the right flank to cover against this direwolf rider. And I do need to cover from the front, just because now my fire drake is, again, it's quite vulnerable. I need to make sure the direwolf rider cannot reach the fire drake, and this leader should be just the perfect unit, because it's almost leveling up. As you can see, I'm covering here, but I'm making sure I barely stay away from orc. Barely, I say barely, but this troll rock lobber can hit me. So if AI is smart enough, I probably, in hindsight now, I should have probably put the skeleton archer, although the skeleton archer versus troll rock lobber, he will definitely die. Perhaps I could have put the ghost, but again, I don't want to risk the ghost, because one hit from this troll rock lobber and then the ghost is going to be 15 hit points, which is a very bad place to be in with this direwolf lying around, running around. Again, safest play here. Try to get him out of harm's way towards the beach. He will not be able to aid in battle, but it's better to have him later on than dead in a ditch, isn't it? So yeah, this bat is doing absolutely nothing except scouting. And this archer, again, could have taken the spot of this Drake warrior, but I am hoping that this Drake warrior looks scary enough or resilient enough so that the direwolf rider ignores him. Okay, so first it will be elf moving. So I'm just going to play side turn. I mean, this is basically scratching my ghost or tickling my ghost. It's not really dealing any real damage. There is... Again, I caught a scout. I probably would have wanted to catch a level 2 rather than a level 1 scout. But I guess beggars can't be choosers. I was hoping there somebody to fall into my trap. It did. I should be grateful. Now, in terms of this Direwolf Rider, I'm not sure whether it realizes that if he attacks the Drake Warrior, he has, I mean, his friend here, the Troll Rocklobber, has a chance of finishing me off. So I'm really interested to see how he played. 3 out of 3 versus 50%. That was absolutely disheartening when I saw that. I was so mad. Oh, at least this one went 0. 0 out of 3. So 0 out of 4. 0 out of 4. Okay, so I'm really happy that I got 3 out of 3 from this Wolf Rider rather than 3 out of 4 from this Goblin Knight, simply because the Goblin Knight has higher attack. Either way, even if I got 2 hits from this Goblin Knight, I should have survived. Oh, never mind. There is a Dragoon, again, lurking in the shadows. Okay, I'm just going to play side turn. Really bold, pushing forward with his level 3 trolls. I don't blame him, especially since he has backup from his loyalist friend. Look at these level 2 units here waiting for me. I'm not really sure what this one did. Didn't do... Oh no, never mind. This is not grey. This is brown. So now he should know. He should definitely know that the Dire Wolf plus Troll Rocklobber kills me, right? He should know at least that. Let me see that. No, he went for the leader. Why? Because for some reason, the AI, and that's something perhaps that it's really important to notice, the AI goes for the unit that's about to level up. It's probably because he is thinking, I want to level up this unit during my turn, so I want to level up the unit during my turn, so the opponent doesn't get to choose what the unit will level to. Or also I want to level it up so I can hit it and deal real damage to the unit rather than have this, potential unit that it's about to level up lying around, which is, it's odd, but it works towards our advantage, so I shouldn't complain. So unless he had, for example, a kill on this Drake Warrior, I guess he will go for this leader instead, which is what saved me here. So remember, if you have a unit that's about to level up, use it as a lure. It's perfect lure. Perfect. That saved me basically here. You see the Troll Rocklobber together with this Dire Wolf. They would have definitely been able to finish me off. Well, never mind. He missed anyway. Okay. So let's play side's turn here. Not much happening as far as I remember. Great. And then let's play also orange. There's also an orange. Oh my god, I do have a lot of opponents here. Oh, 3 out of 4. It's quite bad. See, these loyalists, they suddenly changed targets. They're a bit confused. They don't know where they are needed. And that's the beauty of it. It's another bonus of moving around the map. Sometimes the farthest opponents are confused and they end up moving their units around, trying to optimize, never reaching their goal. Anyway, so here the Elvish Shide dealt relatively decent damage in return, so I'm quite happy about that, and it survived. That's the most important thing. Considering that it's dawn and that Orc will not deal that much damage, but his friend Orange Loyalist will deal a lot of damage, I'm in a difficult situation, because if I do attack east, I will be dealing with a weakening Orc, but with a Loyalist that is getting stronger. In an ideal world, I would be able to eliminate the Loyalist units and run and embrace the Trolls. However, these Trolls, even if it's not night anymore, they still do a lot of damage. So I would say I would need to kill these 2 Trolls ASAP and some Loyalist units, which is so difficult to execute. And because I'm not in the right position, my units seem to be... Look at my leader. My leader can't even hit anything except this Troll. So, considering that this Troll deals 18-3, I think I went for the troll. Also, you see my Elvish Shaman, 24, 27. If the Elvish Shaman slows the troll, it will immediately upgrade. So from this perspective, I think instead of killing the troll, I went and slowed the troll down, and then I saw what happened. Okay, for some reason, I wanted to first try to see how far I could run, but as you can see, it didn't went too well. I didn't eliminate these units too very efficiently. So, plus this one couldn't have turned around and attacked, or it could have perhaps a scout. So from this perspective, I did want to eliminate these units because they were lawful, right? So I did want to eliminate these, although this was a commitment of 4 units. Well, this Mage of Light, it was too far away to attack any meaningful target, so I guess it's fine. Oh, I have a scout here. Oh, that really got close and personal. I didn't even realize how this scout got here. It's really close to me. So yeah, I guess I do need to deal with these units because otherwise my movement will be restricted. I do need to deal with these units which have invaded my personal space. So that takes care of those units. Bit of an overcommitment, but I needed to have this area free to move around freely, be able to retreat if needed. So now with an Elvish Sorceress on 70%, I should be fine, especially that this Great Troll is slowed down, and I believe I use my leader here to deal a lot of damage to this troll. Oh, never mind. What did I use my leader on? I feel that that is a mistake. I feel that I could, sure, if I put my leader here, my leader would have been on 40%, and then I would have had to cover my leader, so my leader would have become a problem. If I was able to put my leader on 70% here, then sure, my leader becomes an asset. But if I put him on 40%, it becomes a source of trouble. And then I have to commit more units to cover him, but I use most of my units here, and that would mean somehow like stretching too thin, stretching north, stretching south. So yeah, now I remember, this is why I didn't use my leader. I wanted a strong unit here, and I wanted to attack, exchange hits with the Great Troll simply because, never mind, I even used, yeah, and it deals a lot of damage anyway. So leader or Troll Warrior, they both deal a lot of damage, so that is absolutely fine. Plus here I have a defensive tower rather than a liability. So let's see here, and some more damage into, not really, again, better for the leader. The leader still did something useful there, was efficiently taking care of that shaman, but the difference now is that the leader is safe rather than being exposed somewhere. So troll on 60%, that's a good choice. Ghost to close the line because ranged units cannot reach her. It's a strong troll warrior coming my way. However, I do have 41 hit points and I should be fine. Remember, everything is halved due to my defense, my very strong defense. So I'm pretty happy with this. It was a very conservative play from my side, which is unusual. But I was quite efficient. I mean, if you look at unit skills, 17. I did lose 3 units. I remember what they were. It was definitely a Goblin Knight. There was also the Scout, which I lost in the very beginning, which was a silly mistake. And I believe it was a Troll? Did I lose a Troll? Yes, I lost the Troll. So, silly Scout, silly Goblin, Spearman, whatever it's called, and a genuine Troll because I was luring the level 3. So 17 to 3, that is a very good ratio. So no reason to take any risks in this situation. As you can see, I'm making sure that this Elvish hero is the one closing the line. I don't want to be attacked by this pikeman. I don't want to be attacked. I mean, I will be attacked by this pikeman. No reason to be attacked by the second pikeman. So that's why I went a bit farther this time. You see, I'm forming a wall here with my back against the beach, and I should be fine, and nothing is coming from here. I've basically cleared Elf very nicely with help from green, and that's what you can do in the 4th scenario. I believe in the 3rd scenario is a bit more difficult to execute, can do. Scenario 2, I would say almost impossible. You do need to drag it out a bit, it really worked, and this proves that this was the right strategic decision, and I'm only here because of the strategic decision that I made in the beginning. Right? There's no other. Sure, it was a nice execution, but it was not rocket science. Right? The strategic decision, which again, not rocket science, perhaps common sense, but this is what got me out of really, really sticky, could have been situations, and now I'm basically dealing with a relatively decent defense. I mean, green is it's a bit messy here in this choke point. Units coming from all over, of course, not in great numbers from south and east, but lots of units coming from north. This is all this complication here in this tunnel. So it's a bit messy for green, but yeah, I think he can make it. Great. Now green. Green has a lot of targets. He has this Elvish Archer here. I'm not sure if it's just an Elvish Archer. I'm not sure whether green should commit more resources. There's also this Troll Rock Lobber in a very bad terrain, 20%. So it would be a pity not to attack it. Also, these 3 units, although that has the back against the wall, it would be relatively difficult to kill. Let's see here. How did I play it? Don't actually remember. Okay, I went for the archer. I believe this is a mistake. Sure, it's free experience, but I'm basically taking a very, very strong unit that has also this aura, which enables other units to be strong. Right? It's just basically right, like Diego or Maradona. May God rest his soul. It's like I'm basically enabling my whole team to be, extremely, extremely good. And I'm taking basically the captain and I'm sending him alone in a tunnel. The captain should be with the team, basically turning common soldiers into generals, right? So that was a mistake. I could have played that better. That archer would have eventually died. No reason to commit the captain of the team. Sure, I have another captain here, but more the better. Okay, guess standard experience management here. Though a bit of a high cost here for the Elvish captain. Okay. So I still need to commit 1 unit. It's always annoying when that happens. See, the meanest unit goes here because it's the most exposed. It's exposed from 3 sides. And it's going to go for this Troll Rock Lobber. See how much he can deal. Doesn't deal much, which is a bit frustrating. However, I do have the Ghost, which is meant to counter trolls. However, the Ghost got 2 out of 2 hits in. It didn't hit much either. So at least this one, which has Steadfast, it's a good contender to get the experience and can also tank whatever it's coming his way. So nice save here with the Steadfast Clasher, and it's a good recipient of experience. So pretty much solves the northern flank, and this will enable me to focus on these 2 units. And now I'm going to get another Clasher, and this is, I mean, because of my placement, right? Because I have a chaotic aura generator in the middle of my lawful army. This is what happens. I mean, but still, I've only hit 1 out of 4, so I keep needing to commit units. You see, even using leader here, at least the leader gets the experience, which is fine, I guess. That is, I must have been incredibly annoyed here because I only have 1 slot left, and I'm not even sure because thankfully I have 1 more flying unit. And this is the 9 movement unit. So it's a pretty good unit, to be honest. So thankfully I have that unit left over. And okay, at least that one can get the job done. Which is not that bad because it's about to level up. But still, it's a bit frustrating. I have this unit inflation. I need to overcommit units. And I can't really get the experience where I want it. Now I'm thinking I'm running a bit too much. Because I sent the captain here, now the captain will really be split from the rest of the army. I would basically have to push these units through a tunnel, which would basically reduce the effectiveness of my main army, and there's not much to gain here unless I can use this commando of units to basically get a kill on the Elvish Avenger. However, it feels that, look at what it's coming. I mean, I have a lot of army that I don't see here in the fog. It felt that would have been a bit better if I would have kept this group of units with the main army, if I would have prioritized this. However, what's done is done. That is a strong position here with the ghoul on the village, in the cave. Definitely a strong position. Getting attacked here, that doesn't even matter at this point. Elf, it's not a menace anymore. It's really important what this grey player does with his menacing trolls. It's going to poison. I love poison. Why? Because it doesn't really do burst damage. It basically takes up a slot, so it means my units can't really die. Sure, they will be poisoned, they will be in annoying shape. Those were 2 hits versus 70%. 2 hits versus 70%. I'm not happy with that. I mean, I know this one is slowed, but 2 hits versus 70%. That is a bit too much, I feel. It should have been only 1. And I was already starting to feel shaky, and another unit, 2 units out of 3 again. I mean, surely 70%, 40 hit points, that should have survived during dawn. I mean, it's just, it feels a bit unfair. I was so sad. I was, remember, during one of the previous scenarios, I was so sad because I kept selecting druids instead of elvish sorceresses, and now I had my first elvish sorceress except my leader, and I lost it so foolishly. So already this started creating problems. However, the units behind, there was no way they were going to die, so it's not the end of the world, definitely. And if you think about it, it was just a level 1 which was recently upgraded to level 2, so not that big of a loss. It's not a hero, it's not a unit with an artifact. Still, it's 40 experience or whatever it was down the drain in a heartbeat, and it hurts because it was on high defense. But you will have these moments, you have to fight back from them. So now the whole dynamics of my defense is changed. My defense has been breached. I can either reclaim this forest or retreat another layer of terrain, or do something else. Again, there's always something else you can do, lateral thinking, right? But definitely my plan from before would not work anymore, obviously. So I needed to adapt. This unit left as well was a good source of experience, a good potential source of experience. So it was a pity that it left. And in terms of brown, at least I have the healer here. I don't really care that much about poison. It's hitting quite a lot, and this is really a pity. I mean, you saw that 70% die very easily. Now it's a 40%, I know, but still 40% is still getting hit a lot. To be fair, the 70% was getting hit as the 40% is getting hit now. So yeah, already I've had a perfectly usable unit, and now it has become unusable, and I don't have a healer behind it, right? So suddenly this flock of units has breached my defense as well. I would need to kill this Troll Rocklobber. I need to turn my army around to save this clasher. So I think the ideal move from a strategic perspective would have been, if this was not a unit with an artifact, right, would have been to pull everybody back. Just pull everybody back, go towards red, meet up with red, and basically have the back covered. Because now red's back is not covered. I have units pouring in from these hills. So he's basically in a choke point, but he's getting attacked from both north and south. So it's a really difficult situation. It makes a lot of sense to simply run towards these swamps, and then both red and green can only get enemy from the east. That would have been the correct strategic decision. However, I got a bit blinded by this artifact, and I did not want to lose the artifact that early, especially since it was an artifact that I picked up relatively recently. So yeah, in hindsight, I should have probably put a unit here, so this Troll Rocklobber doesn't really zone of control the Drake Clasher. I might have been tired, I might have made a mistake, but that was a mistake. Sending the captain away, another mistake. Some poor, I mean, strategically the grand plan was fine, but some poor execution here with green. I was trying to do too many things at once. Sure, I killed a level 2, but there are tons of level 2s coming. I mean, probably the correct decision would have been not even to engage the level 2, just run away. Just make a line here and wait. That would have probably been, in hindsight, the correct decision. I overcomplicated things just to get a kill. Sure, it's day coming, so it makes a lot of sense to turn back and fight these orcs. But there are some loyalist units in the mix. Not strong ones, to be fair, but anyway, let's see what I did. I think I kind of had one for all for one mentality, right? Don't leave anybody behind, which in the grand scheme of things, most of the time it doesn't pay off. You shouldn't suicide your whole army for one single soldier, but sometimes it pays off, and I think it does seem, at least from a human perspective, the right thing to do. And yeah, I don't regret it, definitely, but I got a bit careless with this clasher here. He shouldn't have been there in the first place. Oh, he should have had a friend with him to prevent a zone of control. Okay, so lots of problems with green. Red, not so much. This is a problem, but not a major one, because I can still retreat at will. However, it is day now, and I'm dealing with a lot of mean trolls. So I think at this point I said, get rid of these trolls. And I think this is exactly what I did. Well, I started with this simply because this one has magic attacks. So why not? See what I do here. Okay, this one is in a strong position and attacking this orcish assassin. Not very rewarding, so I freed up this space. Now I believe my leader, which is 58 hit points, well, if 41 didn't survive, 58 should survive, especially since it's morning, it's not even dawn anymore, and I believe I put my leader there, did I? Okay, again, this one is getting lower, so I still want him to use his full damage potential, but use it in the back on some units coming from the back. So that was good. Great leader there. Oh, just one hit. This was so frustrating. The reason I put my leader there is because I wanted to make my job of removing these trolls easier. And then you get 1 out of 4. You suddenly have another problem on your hand. And I don't remember how I solved this. So I put the mage, and suddenly the mage became a problem. 26 hit points on 70%. That is, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that is a problem, a major one. And I needed 3 out of 3 here. I did not get 3 out of 3, but I basically said, depending on what the mage does, I will see how many units I commit. So the mage did pretty well. So I said, if I'm going to kill this troll, I can kill this other troll, and that should be fine. It's time to commit more. So based on what this mage did, I said, it's time to commit more. So now I basically use the ghost, which did fine. 2 out of 4. That's exactly what I expected from the ghost. No reason to waste the experience. And I believe I used this chance to level up a unit. Great. So this one does not have any particular interesting traits. However, it's a level 2 unit, which will help me in my defense. And already, as you can see, 19 units killed. It's getting pretty efficient with red at eliminating these units. Another level 2 unit in the process. So highly rewarding targets those trolls. And now I also managed to cover my mage. I have to be careful though not to overcommit. As long as this mage, the problem is there is a royal guard lurking here behind the enemy forces. So it's not good for me to keep the mage open. However, remember, orc goes before royal guard. Remember, we discussed this in the previous scenario. So if an orc comes here, attacks the mage, does not kill it, then it will actually protect the mage from this royal guard. So from this perspective, I think this mage would be fine. I'm really curious whether I actually covered or not. Here, 60%, 71 out of 77, going very well towards level 3. And you see here the dexterous and I believe trained range +1 damage, doing absolute wonders. You might think as elvish fighters as melee fighters, but with leadership and with ranged and dexterous, they are basically all-round fighters. They deal equal amounts of damage in both ranged and melee fight. So really good units, elvish fighters. Do not underestimate them. especially if you get them an artifact with drains like I did with one of these. This is even skirmisher. This is a beast. Anyway, so I've already like eliminated two level 3s, one level 2. As you can see, I'm constantly eliminating these high reward targets in terms of experience, and this is starting to become a bit unstable for the opponent, because the more units he throws at me, the more I eliminate and level up my units, and then my potential of eliminating units grows. So it's basically an exponential growth if you think about it. So from this perspective, red is playing really well, great positioning. Green so far been a bit messy with that zone of control there. You see, I can even spare a commando of units to kill units in the background. It's important to take them one by one before they develop, they organize into flocks and they become really difficult to deal with. Nice heals here, so it's not as bad as I'm making it. However, it's going to be bad because look at this flock of units. They are not here now, but they will be right here behind my back. And it's not these, these lonely elvish units in small groups coming here to be slaughtered like lambs. It's a whole army of level 2s, level 3s, level 2s. It's a whole army. It's going to be problematic if I do go top. But I think because it was a shiny day full of enthusiasm, and I was attacking a chaotic faction, I said, why not take advantage of this day and deal some well-deserved damage? And if you think about it, it's level 2 followed by, I killed here a level 2, that's why I committed my units in the first place, and now I killed another 2, got an elvish marshal out of it. It's still pretty good, and immediate returns are quite nice. However, on long term, I will have a problem to deal with. And excellent. So you see here, the level of units is starting. I'm not sure. I don't think I can see for some reason. This is bugged. Can't really see what my green side is doing. But already you can see it's starting to gather up those statistics in units killed. Okay, that was a decent hit there. So 40 out of 41. He should survive no matter what. But okay. But the problem is now it got one slot from this Orcish Sovereign. So now it will be more difficult to deal with this Orcish Sovereign. This ghost is so annoying. It's 30%, but it doesn't hit that much. So 34. No way I'm going to be able to kill this Orcish Sovereign. So I decided to shift my attention elsewhere with more misses. That is incredibly important, simply because I'll need to commit all these units here now, flock around this. So I'll be basically splitting my army into 2 small groups. So I won't be able to, achieve much in both sides. I'll be basically wasting my time everywhere. That's a lot of damage here. However, this brings my skeleton within 8 hit points of leveling up, which is not that bad, and realistically I didn't have many options here on this Goblin Pillager. Simply because you saw what happened last time when I used a ranged unit. I got slowed and I didn't achieve much. Okay, again, I'm slowly gathering up damage. However, I can put the healer in the middle and I should be fine, bringing the captain back home, which is the right decision to make. Trying to bring the burner as well, and the revenant. So slowly I'm starting to correct this situation. However, look at this army. I would be boxed into this choke point fighting 2 sides rather than being reunited with the red and following one side. So it can still work. It's a good position in terms that I can't really be attacked at full force from all 4 sides. It's only 2 sides I have to deal with, but it's still 2 sides, right? So, yeah. Trying to desperately heal wherever needed. I don't have a 3rd healer, and this is not having my units in one place. This is starting to hurt, right? I should have had a 3rd healer for this small group of units. Now this Fire Drake is really hurting. So, yeah. Doing the best I can here to try to defend myself versus south, versus north, try to bring my units from the west back home. Okay. I love seeing these purple units enveloping my units and basically protecting me. Remember, it so happened that the purple player was the best target to attack, simply because it plays versus before all other AIs, and basically it kind of protects us from the enemy. And I will... Oh, that is just insane amount of damage. See, this aura is actually helping the opponent as well. Always happy to see scouts attacking first, weak attacks, wasting slots. They just keep coming. Remember, this is scenario 4, and I've dealt with some level 2 and level 3 units, but there are more coming. You see the orange units also coming now. So yeah, it's going to get more and more difficult. We're not out of the woods yet. See leadership here, still doing quite a lot. Mage on this side attacking a Drake. That's what I like to see. Okay, so that's basically it. Now there's Loyalist coming here. Oh, 3 out of 3, but it was the last slot. You see, the Orc, which was chaotic, protected me from more Loyalist attacks. He even had a fencer with full access. However, Orc saved me there. Which is great. Loyalist basically did nothing simply because I was protected by Orc. So that shows you the beauty of looking at this screen. And, well, I basically had little choice. Even if purple would have been last, I still would have had to go for purple due to the map topology. But other than that, yeah, this would have been an extra incentive to pick purple as the target of my attacks. Okay, so this is red now, red's turn, and now I have a decision to make. Do I pull back? I just don't feel like it. I mean, I still feel like I'm dealing with plenty of chaotic units. There are some stray orange units, but you see some of them redirected towards green. So from this perspective, looking at, for example, this level 3, which is an easy target, is basically on a silver platter, served. Another level 2 served. This level 2 definitely eliminate, easily to be eliminated. This Orcish warrior. However, going into a line of units, for example, let's say I eliminate a particular unit from the middle of the line. It's not a good tactic simply because you don't have, you eliminate it and then you can't really benefit from the fact that its zone of control was cleared, right? So you can't really go into that free slot simply because there are units to the left and right hand sides that keep occupy or keep the tension in the zone of control, right? They don't let you fully take advantage of the fact that you've freed up some control. So from this perspective, I do have to go from one side, either this side, which is a bit odd because I'm kind of freeing up this side, but I'm getting myself into a trap, or the southern side. So I think I chose the southern side, and I said I'm going to go from the southern side, and I'm basically going to eat up this croissant, right? It's a croissant of gray and orange units. So I'm just going to eat up this croissant of gray and orange units from the side, from this corner. And I believe this is what I was trying to do. Let's see here. Play single move. Okay, first of all, some easy targets. Right, these are easy targets, relatively clear who should get the experience, where to place units, and so on and so forth. And then I got here as well Cruel Spike, melee charge. Now, I did not get it on any of these units. It's important to get Cruel Spike on a unit with good, first of all, high damage, right? So for example, Elvish fighters, they do have a lot of attacks, but they are not, I mean, each attack is not that strong. It doesn't have high damage, correct? Okay, sorry for that interruption, ladies and gentlemen. So I was going to, again, try to clear these units from either this side or this side. I was talking about charge here. So it would be good on a wows, for example. But the thing about wows is that I can't really attack, for example, a lich or yeah, it could be good on a wows, to be honest. I should have put it on a wows, but the thing is I don't have a wows. This one already has magical, and the other wows already has, well, the aura. So I can't really put it on a wows. Troll, I just don't feel like it's the right item on the troll. I don't know why. Simply because troll, I mean, same thing with wows. They only have one type of attack, so I want to be able to diversify a bit the attack. From this perspective, I feel that a clasher is a perfect unit simply because I can either go for a gladiator, right, which has 3 types of attacks, so I can charge versus most opponents, including undead, or I could go for the slasher, which has very good resistance and has very high damage with his pike. So in case I need to charge versus an opponent which is resilient to pierce, I have the blade as a backup, so I do have at least 2 attacks. So from this perspective, I wanted to give the artifact to green, so I'm going to basically ignore this artifact for a while in order to put it on a clasher. So this is the kind of moves that you can do with your teammate in World Conquest. Again, it seems I decided to go for the northern side, but however, I need to close this line somewhat, somehow. I did not get the pike. Made another hero, and yeah, this is how I chose to close the line with a wows on 40%. And again, I'm using the distract from this wows, I believe. No, there is a distract here somewhere. This one has distract, perhaps. No, somehow somebody needs to. Oh yeah, this one has distract, right? So this particular one, which has nice dark concealment and distract, it's a beast. So this one enabled me to make this nice move here with the Elvish Ranger on 40%, and this closes up my line really nicely to defend against any kind of aggression and eliminates one more level 2 unit. So those were important kills, level 3, level 2s, and it was a level 2 from Loyalist, so it was even better simply because Loyalist, he is at his power phase now, so again, also able to use my leader. Because I'm starting from north, I'm able to clear, again, I'm able to take advantage of those zones of control. I think now I said it's time to close up everything, and I believe this one has skirmisher ability. However, it's a dangerous position for him. That is 76 out of 77, but it has only 21 hit points. That is a bold statement to make there. However, what I'm hoping is that orange does not go first, and Orc will be the one leveling me up. Remember what happened here with my leader, so this is what I'm banking on. Mage, always an important target. Here, as you can see, I'm using the drain ability, and probably this one would have been a better target here, but my thought process was, if I'm going to lose a unit, might as well not be the unit with drain. And yeah, I keep eliminating these units. Already 4 to 32. The ratio is incredibly in my favor, so I have a feeling that I can keep continuing clearing units, even if I lose a unit of or 2 of my own. I should be fine. Okay, closing the gap there. even putting a troll for good measure, and that basically closes up the line for the red player. Now for the green player, I don't think things were that orderly. I was able to... I see I'm missing too much with my adepts. And this is a 60%. The problem is that because I miss with my adepts, now it's kind of normal to miss with my other units. You see, these units are not hitting, so you see I'm having to use 4 units, 5 units, and I'm not even getting the kill there. Look how much damage that spearman dealt. 6 units, I was not able to eliminate that. Going even to pause here. So this is a big problem. I used 6 units, so you see these Saurians are quite useless during daytime. They deal almost no damage, and now I even put this Saurian in range of this cavalryman. So it is going to be an absolute pain to deal with. And yeah, we're going to see. I'm going to make a small break, come back with this video, and I'm going to concatenate them together for you guys, because now I think the most interesting part in terms of Green's play is coming up. And we are back with Green's play. Again, I had a terrible time here with the spearman. And let's see what happened next. Clearing the mage here should be straightforward. And now... okay, these units have not moved yet. And I don't have any clear targets, so I'm really curious. I don't remember how I played here. I decided to play aggressively. Why? Because it's still daytime and there are relatively many trolls coming. So I decided to take advantage of the fact that that assassin was on 40%. So I went for it. And now I went for the troll. Nice damage here, 3 out of 3. Perfect, making full use of that magic damage. Oh, that was just heartbreaking. I needed only 2 hits out of 5. That should have definitely been a kill. It unnecessarily complicates the situation here. Now I'm desperate to absolutely eliminate that troll. And of course, 4 out of 4 misses. This is absolutely frustrating. So this is how Green's life is becoming more and more miserable. I'm forced to switch targets towards this Mage of Light. Why? Because this Mage of Light is actually the most dangerous unit. So at least I need to get him low. But now, if you look at my leader, he's only... I mean, he has 32 hit points. Is that my leader? No, it's not my leader. Is it my leader? Yes, it is my leader. So he has 32 hit points. Okay, I cleared this archer, which was, I think this, here I got frustrated. So I got really frustrated with the fact that I needed 6 units here, with the fact that I missed basically 8 out of 9. I feel that 2 out of 9 is a decent expectation versus 60%. So I said, I'm just going to go for this Mage of Light, because this is what I was trying to eliminate. By eliminating this troll, I was trying to gain access to this Mage of Light. So I was a bit frustrated. Don't do that. It was an unnecessary risk here. It paid off in the end. So this means that my leader will live to fight another day. There are 2 slots here. Well, actually, this troll is about to die. So if I do kill the troll relatively quickly with retaliation, there is realistically 1 full slot and perhaps half a slot. Depends how you decide to count. And yeah, going for this one. Why not deal as much damage while it's still daytime? And basically I made full use of my units, with the small comment that these 2 units have missed incredibly much. And okay, trying to poison here unsuccessfully. And that's it. I've had a terrible turn with Green here. I missed. I couldn't kill this crossbowman. I had to commit too many units, and I received too much retaliation damage here. Yeah, I failed to kill this troll, barely managed to kill the Mage of Light, therefore prolonging the lifespan of my leader. It was really close, because if this Necrophage wouldn't have gotten to Auto 2, that would have been game for me. So it was an unnecessary risk here. Anyway, let's see what happened next. Of course, he doesn't miss like I do. And now we have Grey, which is probably going to take advantage. Never mind. Got here yet another Shide, which is nice to see. Love these assassins simply because they take up slots and they don't actually deal real damage. I mean, they don't deal burst damage, right? So that's a lot of damage on that Clasher. Okay, good news, the Clasher survived, barely, but it survived. It's a weakling here, and he's taking advantage of it. Good for him. And now Brown is about to try and get a leader kill. Let's see what he does. 12-3. That's still a very decent amount of damage. 10-10-10. So yeah, that's 2 out of 3. That's decent. And now this leader should survive no matter what. It's unkillable basically at this point. A lot of hits there. There's a 60%. And yeah, it seems that I live to fight another day, though Green's situation is pretty bad. These units, I mean these 2 units specifically, in a world of hurt. This one is almost dead. It will have 1 hit point. Incredibly difficult to heal considering I have enemies pouring in from all sides. So this one is not a level 2 yet. It's just too many units to level up. Too much experience to spread around, and too many units wounded and dying. It's a pity that I can't really see Green statistics. I'm sure they are worse than Red's. No, it's not going to do anything, is it? Even full hits won't kill my leader. That is a scary unit. Really happy he did not go for this Elvish hero. But again, the mage was here protecting me. The mage, the what mage actually? Was it an orange mage or some other? Okay, it was an orange mage, but he did not move back to make space for the Royal Guard. So this is another behavioral pattern from AI that you need to be aware of. Well, coming back to Red, which has been absolutely fabulous in maintaining my morale high. Now I do have a great situation where I can remember the croissant theory. I can basically start clearing these units. Look, even the ghost is free to roam here. Focus on the exact unit it wants. So I can basically start clearing these units like this. Already I feel that Red does have numerical superiority on this southern flank. So it can take advantage of it. And you can see using magic damage on a unit with high defense. Oh, that was, I mean, of course, there was no way I would have died there. Still, it was scary to look at. Again, magic versus high defense units. Melee versus ranged. Mage to finish off and get the experience. Magic versus 70%. This one just to finish off and get the experience. This one has drain, so it does not really matter how he attacks. Troll to close, form a line here because I'm running out of steel line, so I need to worry now about closing the line and helping out also top. That was a bit of a bad move because I stole experience from this skeleton fighter. So yeah, I basically again eliminated tons of units bottom, and I did manage to protect using this Elvish hero on forest and this troll here, and you see all the wounded units. Not necessarily all of them have healing. All the poison ones have healing, but it does not really matter at this point. So that is a classical textbook example of how to play green to no fault of his own. Just missed too much, tried to overcompensate and dug himself into a hole. This will be interesting to see. So it's a lot of units here that need to be protected. But also, I can't just really retreat and ignore absolutely everything because night is coming. I do need to eliminate some of these high-profile targets in order to be retreat safely. So, as you can see, I'm clearing that level 2, and this brings my Dark Sorcerer, actually, to 84 out of 86 on the cusp of leveling up, which is fantastic. It makes him a strong member of my defense. So let's see here. This one on 60% again, also with the aura. Well, he's helping himself, helping my allies, but also helping the enemy, because most of the enemies are chaotic. However, these are the highest hit point units that I have, so it makes a lot of sense to keep them together on 60%, form some sort of front line. What is happening here? Don't really see. Okay. I think, trying to level up this skeleton. But again, I'm having a hard time hitting the cavalryman. It's just ridiculous. I've already used, okay, at least that. So now perhaps the skeleton. Finally. So finally leveling up the skeleton. So suddenly, instead of having 2 problems, I only have 1. So that was great to see. Microing here a bit. It's really important that I get rid of this level 2. Again, I don't hit this draw whelp as much as I wanted to. I have to use the ghost because the ghost is the only one capable of somewhat tanking what's coming. I would have wanted the ghost to be on flat and have these units on swamp, but I'm kind of forced into this play due to the amount of times that I missed, and I have to use this necrophage to, again, moving forward and eliminate that high profile target, simply because all other units are dead or dying. So plus I need to push this Elvish Marshal forward to occupy that 60% mountain and try to clear up some slots here, some healing slots, which are weight. They are worth their weight in gold at this point. Oh, it's not that good, but it was not that bad either, considering that this particular Drake Burner is far away from most targets capable, most units capable of dealing high amounts of damage. But I'm kind of leaving him for dead here because he can be zone of control without a doubt. However, I'm hoping that this Drake Burner will slow down a bit the enemy attack. I do need some breathing space to heal up all my injured units. This one does not even have space to heal. It's that bad. So let's see here. I'm using it to close some access points. You see, I'm forced to use this 27 HP on 60% to close the line, and I am leaving this Wolf Rider to fend for himself. But in my defense, the Wolf Rider had 18 experience, so I would have expected him to simply level up and survive. But just in case he would have died, and based on my luck so far with green, I would say that it's relatively a decent expectation for it to die in a silly manner, and for my defense to be breached. I do have here the Drake Flare and this Dark Sorcerer on 60%. This is my weak link in case the Wolf Rider dies. Again, I'm desperately trying to run with these units away from the fight. However, there's no healer inside. The healer was here trying to level up this Revenant, and well, at least it can heal this Clasher a bit. Okay, not much happening here, so let's see what purple has in store for us. Not many units, so easy turn there. I love assassins. Perfect here. Assassin is the most useless considering the state of experience of that Wolf Rider. Okay, this one is doing alright. Great, so has been a good turn in terms of Grey. He has not managed to deal a lot of damage. He only managed to basically take up some slots, so the real damage dealers are not able to hit my units. Now let's see Brown, and of course 2 out of 2 with fire, why not? And there goes my defense. At least I have a leech here, and that would make my defending a bit easier. And this indeed draws a lot of attention, but at the same time it also dies. So I'm not really sure what to think about that. Perhaps it would have been better to simply keep it behind. However, if I let that level 2 archer free, I bet you that level 2 archer would have gotten 2 out of 2 versus the ghost, and the ghost would have just died just like that. So I preferred to suicide level 1 burner and keep the ghost alive, delay a bit this attack, and give my units some time to heal. Okay, that was really good there. Here it's looking very bad. Very bad. Phew, that was a big sigh of relief when I saw this. I don't remember this particular moment, but I can assure you, in-game, when I saw that my 60% Dark Sorcerer survived, I was relieved. It was still a difficult situation because I still needed to find space for it to heal, for it to go back to fight another day, and it was just adding to my list of problematic units that I needed to manage. I'm definitely not out of the woods yet, but at least some hope with this Dark Sorcerer surviving. I mean, the Wolf was bad enough that it died with only 1 experience left to level up. Losing this 60% Dark Sorcerer with 82 experience, that would have been disastrous, absolutely disastrous. So, considering green situation, now I think I already told myself, already thought to myself, with red, I am basically in strategic heaven, so I do have the strategic, tactical, and any other kind of advantage, when compared to green's position. So I did not hesitate. I continued my attack. I continued again my methodology to keep taking these units from one side, peeling them off, and basically eliminating them one by one, abusing the fact that in the extremity of their formation, I was able to move freely. So you will see just that here, as far as I remember. Okay, so again, this is creating lots of space for me to be able to deal with other units. I don't even care if level 3s get the kills. I do need to clear this up as soon as possible, and I need to somehow, some way help as soon as possible, help green, because he's in a terrible situation. And already you can see how my units are much more numerous than his units, and a lot of experience there going into strong units of mine. And this is problem solved on the red flank, and this means that on the green side, all I have to do is basically wait up a bit for the red teammate to help. And it's already, it's only turn 11 out of 40, so very aggressive play here from the red side. From my side, already cleaned up 56 units, which is an impressive feat. And yeah, it's looking pretty good on the red side. Okay, and moving forward with moving forward to the green side now. This is an incredibly delicate situation to manage, and again, the best defense is attack. So I tried to clear as many units as possible, did not really care whether I wasted the experience or not. I hit more than usual here. I mean, I'm used to not hitting at all. So that was my saving grace, I guess. Oh god! When I saw this, melee cold slows, I thought to myself, oh god, how am I ever going to kill this slurbo? Because this one was undead, and undead, as you know, is resilient to cold, right? Because he has a modifier, melee cold modifier. So now all I have left is this clasher, which I was intending to use against the slurbo, but cold versus Drake is just devastating. I do have this Dark Adept, which I will be forced to use. Perhaps the Leech would be my only option, although I wanted to use the Leech to take down another more important target. I might be forced to take this Slurbo because it will also drop an artifact. So you see, I'm not even attacking with melee here, simply because melee would have been even more devastating than the ranged attack. So the fact that the ranged attack hit 3 out of 3 is just the nail in the coffin for me, or at least this is how I felt at that point. Because suddenly now, if he had, I mean, if one more hit missed, I mean, he missed 0 hits. If he missed at least one more hit, I would have been in the perfect position that I computed for myself. But now I'm suddenly having to deal with yet another problematic unit. And I'm forced to basically use this skeleton archer here. And 22 damage. This is just, it not only hits the skeleton archer, it hits my morale. But in these situations, you know, you've done a relatively decent play. You haven't hit once, and he got 2 out of 2 versus 50%, although you were hitting versus 40%. I mean, there's nothing you can do than take more risks, right? At one point, the probabilities have to work for you rather than against you, right? That's why they are probabilities. So finally here, 2 out of 2 with the Adept and no hits in. So that was some good news. And Ring of Frostbite, which is again a very strong item, cold and slows. However, it is a strong item on a unit that has lots of attacks, right? Because then that particular unit will get more chances to slow, right? So from this perspective, I thought that an Elvish fighter, right, an Elvish hero would be the perfect unit to use such a slow item, and the Clasher would be perfect for this charge, whatever it's called, charge stick, let's call it, charge spear or whatever. So from this perspective, I did a bit of a swapperoo here. I got an Elvish hero on the Ring of Slowness, or whatever it's called, and I got the Clasher on the charge. You could say, oh, Nikki, you could have actually gotten the Clasher on the slow because it still has a lot of attacks. That's true, but if you think about it, the Clasher already has diversity in terms of types of attacks. So it has pierce, it has a blade. If you get the right upgrade, then it will have also impact. Replacing all of these with slow, which simply have reduced the attack diversity, which is one of the perks of the Drake, whereas the Elvish hero does not have that melee attack diversity, so it's not much of a problem converting everything to cold. Yeah, so at least this was my philosophy here. I did want the charge on the Clasher. Probably there definitely are more than one way to play this, but this is how I played it. And now all I have to do is basically cover this Drake Flare. And if you look here, except this Orcish crossbowman, there is not any other scary unit lying about, so I should be safe. And I had to use here the Leech. There was no other way, but now suddenly this flank is a bit problematic. So let's see how I cover that. Okay, some more kills here. and a level 3 Ghast, which is a long time coming. A lot of HP buffs here due to his feeding ability, and it's really interested to see how I covered there. Okay, so I'm using this 48 HP Drake Warrior to cover this flank, but if this flank is breached, then this Dark Sorcerer dies. I mean, maybe I can move him away somewhere, but there are not many places where I can move him to safety, right? So this is a really, really vulnerable unit. You see, I'm inching my units forward here. This is 31 HP, and this is, I mean, if this one dies, it's not that big of a deal because the units that can reach this one, they can barely reach him, and the units behind those units, they won't be able to take advantage of the breach created. So I'm hoping that these units, instead of going for the 48 HP Drake Warrior, they go for the 31 HP Drake Warrior. Sure, they have a higher chance of killing the Drake Warrior, but then the breach would not be that catastrophic, right? This one is actually covering a lot of important units, and I'm going to leave this Dark Sorcerer here next to the Saurian Soothsayer simply because I do want him to get healed. So again, this is just scraping the bottom of the barrel, trying to find units to close my defense. This ghoul has been a shining star, keeping so many units busy here in the cave and refusing to die. So I'm making some adjustments here simply because I realize that 31 HP is actually going to die very easily, so might as well, even if there is no breach associated with that kill. And of course, I forgot this Drake Clasher here. I believe I did simply forget him. It was not some fancy strategy. So I was really kicking myself at this point. Luckily for me, I mean, there was no way he would have died, however. It would have been much better to have him healed and in better shape for fighting rather than having him again as a problematic unit. Okay, I'm just going to play this. So, not really much happening here. Oh god, 2 out of 2. That is just insane. Okay, not much happening here either. So, I said it's 2 out of 2, but due to my leech placement, that's fine. So even with 2 out of 2, my Revenant survived. It has become a problematic unit, but there are so many, I'm kind of used to that at this point in time. So as soon as I level up a unit, it becomes a problematic unit immediately. Drops from 90% HP to 5% HP. Now this would be an interesting turn to watch, simply because this Drake Warrior is quite vulnerable. So I'm really curious. Although this Troll Whelp did not go for the Drake Warrior, probably the AI could not realize that in conjunction with the Orcish Crossbowman, they could have made quick work of this Drake Warrior. So even if this Orcish Crossbowman does get some hits, I believe the Drake Warrior will survive. That's getting really painful here with the ghoul, but I believe... Oh, and it's dead, as I say. I believe in him. He dies. So 3 out of 3. But remember, Grey did not. Grey already played and already chose the Dark Sorceress. So I am absolutely fine. So I can play Side's turn. The worst has now passed, I think. As I say that, I keep getting hit. Okay, that's a pity, but it's not a game changer. I can afford to lose some red units. Red has performed so well. The ratio between units lost and units killed is just absolutely insane. And again, here it's just units waiting to be eaten up, and that's exactly what I did. Yeah, a bit annoying there with with the assassins. Trying as much as possible to put experience into useful units, while at the same time not affecting my speed of clearing up these units too much. So this went pretty nicely, I would say. Again, 66 to 6. I would say we are absolutely fine. And here, again, back against the wall. Really difficult to move around. Everything is poisoned. Well, not everything. It's actually just this Elvish Marshal. Everything is hurt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 problematic units. And I believe I have 7 healthy units to cover for them. So covering here is really, really, really difficult. This one is already amber. Fire Drake also in danger. So it is really an interesting management exercise. Now, I can leave the gas here on 60%, and it's quite okay. It's quite all right, simply because it slows down these units. Because they do have to take the swamp, right? They do have to take the swamp route, and it slows down these units because they do have to take the hill route. So, okay. So and if they do get, let's say, interested in this ghast is just never going to die, and it deals a lot of retaliation damage everywhere. So that is fine. So considering that I can leave the ghast here, I can just retreat with everything as far back as possible. However, it's not as easy as it sounds. So let's see here. How did I manage? First of all, trying to get some experience here. Oh, thank God. That was the saving grace there. 16 experience suddenly turned a problematic unit into a unit capable of defending. So that was really, really, really needed. Had I missed that, I don't know how I would have managed to continue defending. It's getting scarier and scarier for this Revenant. However, as you can see, I don't have the luxury of just cuddling him, pulling him back, healing him. I have to kind of protect him while he's attacking weaker targets. And look, the same thing with this Sorcerer. If you think about it, he is actually in danger of dying. Of course, the probability is quite low, but theoretically, he could die from this Orcish Assassin. At least he hits once. So now the question is how to cover these two units. I do have these healers, and I'm kind of forced to use the healers to cover. There's just no other way. So I'm using this one on 40%, which turns him into a target, because these trolls, they hit quite hard. So my last resort is to push this Saurian Ogre on 60%, but he only has 27 hit points. So even if he has 60%, if he gets hit once in a while, he will die relatively quickly. Do have another healer here, and another death. Never mind, did not see that. 60%, 21 hit points. I would say it's quite decent. He should survive with normal luck, although this Goblin Pillager is level 2 and he does deal quite a lot of damage. So I'm not really sure here whether I consider the fact that this mountain here is clear. It can be occupied by a unit. So this was a bit courageous play, a bit risky if you ask me. But there is also the chance that, okay, this is grey, I think this is grey, and this is also grey. So they are in the same team. They should compute the fact that the Dark Adept, well, both the Dark Adept and the Saurian Ogre, if you think about it, they are more or less the same in terms of risk. This one has 21 HP and 2 slots. This one has 27 HP and 3 slots. So, okay, I don't agree with this one here. But I guess this was the only way, because this is a quick archer, was the only way to make sure the archer does not get access to this Drake Flare. It's literally the only way. And plus, if you see here, between this Elvish hero and this Revenant, the movement of this Wolf Rider is restricted. So, perfect placement. Yeah. Okay. Moving the Elvish Marshal on 60%, 52 hit points. He will have to defend. He, at this point, even if he's poisoned, he is a defending unit compared to all other wounded units. So this one goes here, but there's no healing slot left for him. So he just tries to go away from danger and just playing around here, trying to confuse the enemy a bit. And yeah, that's basically it. Defender here. Defender in terms of Ghost. Kind of a semi-defender here with a Fire Drake. And I would just have to pray that these two units on the eastern flank will survive. And pray I will. Let's see, purple here. Of course, 3 damage. Kind of forced into this position because I was sloppy with this Great Clasher. And now I'm paying the price. 1 miss here, 2 misses here, and that basically is a sigh of relief from my side. Finally not finally, I did have my fair share of luck, but I would say I had more bad luck than good luck with a green side this game, so that was really a sigh of relief. Anyway, let's see here with brown. Okay, I'm just going to hit continuous replay because at this point, considering how many kills red got, the game is more or less over. Green managed to survive through the worst of it, I have the feeling, and I believe this game is already won at this point. It's just a matter of managing the experience properly. And this is another thing I want to talk to you about, is that now the game is over, right? And it's about managing experience, but it's also not only about that, it's also about finishing relatively quickly. So most of the units, most of the scary units are dead, and now I need to focus on killing these leaders, right? So as you can see, the leaders are, and I'm going to pause here, the leaders here are quite scattered. So there is one here to the southern side, one here to the western side, and 2 of them to the east. I mean, 1 to north and 1 to east. It's almost 4 directions, and they are quite scattered. What is the optimal way to do it is basically send commandos of units. So for example, let's say red sends a commando here, and then a commando here, and then that commando moves on up towards this and this. And well, actually, yeah, that was my old keep. That's not an enemy. So, and green, if he survives, after he survives, he sends a commando here. So, for example, once green gets here, and red, well, probably red and green will meet on this, and you can finish off. But there is a tendency from some players to basically send all the units to one hero, make sure they get the kill, then all their units to another hero. It's very slow and inefficient, and this is exactly what I did this game. So if you look here, let's hit continuous replay. So working on those leeches and on those level 2 adepts, closing in the gap here with level 3 tank. And oh, that is a bold move here. Why did I do that? That is really a mistake. That's no reason to put the 18 hit point Drake forward. That is absolutely silly. I don't know why I did that. Probably to heal him and fully utilize the space. But if you look here, look. That's it. I mean, 1 more hit and it's dead. So it was really silly my part. A mistake, probably due to tiredness. Yeah, look here. Oh, never mind. I was so lucky. I guess RNG gods realized that I was tired, and that was just a silly mistake, and decided, okay, I'm just going to keep your Drake Warrior alive, but please don't do that in the future. So yeah, I was really lucky here with the Drake Warrior. Not a big deal. Look, I'm sending all these units towards. I mean, is this really necessary? It's just one hero. I should have sent some of them. I am doing some separation on this side. I am sending some of them bottom, but I'm just thinking the split is not optimal. I ended up sending only 2 units to the southernmost part, simply because I underestimated that hero and what it could do, and it almost cost me the game. You will see that that hero almost killed me. So it's important to assess, weigh how many units you should send, and really how effective you can be in eliminating the enemy hero. Yeah, so other than that, that's basically it. I mean, imagine also at this stage of the game, imagine me having already fully upgraded speed. I would have been so much more efficient in sending those commandos of units and eliminating the heroes. And the fact that I would have eliminated the heroes faster, it meant that I would have had more gold for the next scenario, so that would have made my life easier. So the fact that I got speed would have had a return of investment relatively quickly, because now I just need to move these units around, and it's a bit annoying, right? It's a bit slow. If I had one more movement point for each unit, then that it's just, it doesn't seem like much, but it is quite a lot. Simply because you see these choke points here, these swamps, trying to funnel your units through them. They basically step on their toes, and you don't really get to make good progress with 90% of your units, simply because the reachability set of the tiles, right? It's just it's overlapping, right? So you don't really have a wide set of reachability. So yeah, it's speed is really important. And if I ever play World Conquest ever again, well, I will play for scenario 5. I have to, right? Because I made a pledge to you, ladies and gentlemen. So after scenario 5, if I ever play World Conquest again, I will try prioritizing speed and see how well I fare with that, and hopefully I can make it work. I do want to. I mean, it's relatively fine playing offline, because you can obviously you can make the perfect plan, the perfect strategy, but at the same time it's easier than playing with a teammate which you can't fully control, right? Because your teammate has his own idea about the game, about the strategy. You need to communicate, you need to have a cohesive arrangement, right? Cohesive movement around the map. So it is arguably more difficult to play as a team. So I am looking right now for a reliable teammate to play this with, and see whether I can finish it in as part of the team. And as part of that team, I will be prioritizing speed and experimenting with that. I do believe that it is the optimal choice, and I do believe that it will just pay off for itself relatively quickly. You see here, I dealt a lot of damage with my leader there, and I was really happy, because I thought, oh, just the ghost and the leader, the elvish sorceress, should be enough. But then you'll see relatively quickly what happened. So you can see here, all these units, they are just, it's just overcommitment here. Most of them are not doing anything. They are just lagging behind, stepping on their toes, not doing absolutely anything. All these just made me a bit mad when I realized that I send too many units top. Imagine one troll going bottom to the grunt or to the here to the fire mage, right? So imagine that. Anyway, too late to cry over spilled milk. It's really important that I got a set of... Look, that was really scary. I got a set of units which is well balanced, right? I mean, I don't have lots of level 3s and just a bunch of level 1s. I would say the experience is relatively well. I mean, look at my leader. My leader is in danger now. It's in mortal danger. So it has 16 hit points. I managed to clear the level 3 boss, but look at this grunt. No matter how I place my units, the grunt can hit my elvish enchantress. If the grunt gets 2 out of 2 versus 60%, then the game it's over. Obviously, you know that didn't happen because I said in the beginning I finished this. Or did I mess with you? Did I just lose that game silly with the grunt? Well, I guess we'll find out pretty soon. But it was again an unnecessary mistake. One more unit with the elvish sorceress would have prevented this unnecessary scenario, and it would have basically made things much more predictable. And this is, I mean, the way I played it, this is not how you should play. You should definitely take precautions, and you should be patient and try to think more, try to be more calculated rather than follow your instincts like I did here. And you see, I'm trying to cover with the bat, but it's just the grunt still found a way through. So as you can see, I'm just taking my leader all the way back. I don't even want to risk it anymore. Normally I would have just attacked with the leader, but I was so scared that I almost lost the game there that I just did not take any more chances. Although it would have made a lot of sense to attack the grunt. I mean, the leader had 4 hits with magic. The probability was so high that my leader survived and eliminated the grunt that it just made sense. However, I did not want to risk it anymore. It's basically when you get burnt, right? When you get burnt, you drink a cup of tea, you get burnt, and you get yogurt. Next time, you are even cautious about drinking the yogurt, right? You're waiting for the yogurt to cool down a bit because you just got burnt with a cup of tea. So, but you know, that's not the right approach. The right approach is basically to treat the cup of tea as a cup of tea and to treat the yogurt as a yogurt. You need to be realistic, right? There's no way you can overcompensate by, you know, you do a silly thing and then you do 10 bad things. You do 1 bad thing and then you do 10 great things. It doesn't work that way. Most of the time, you can't really wash away your sins. So, for example, let's say you got your leader killed here in this game, the game is over. You can do tens of thousands of things afterwards. They don't matter. The game is over. So, yeah, I'm really excited to be making it to Scenario 5 once more. With these 2 new factions and with a lot more experience. I believe there was somebody that in my channel, they placed a comment saying that, so last time when I failed Scenario 5, they said something like, is it really worth it to get an artifact in Scenario 5? And I can tell you, no, it is not, and I will be getting 70 gold and a village because I have a lot of training bonuses, right? And I have a lot of units, tons of units, because I do have a lot of gold, and I need the units to be able to survive against the AI's massive armies. So it just makes sense to add those extra units that 70 gold grant you, because those extra units you recruit, they have so many training perks that they can be absolute beasts and help you to win the game much better than an artifact on a single lone unit, which will most likely be level 1 or would be level 2 that, you know, doesn't need the experience that much. So yeah, I will be playing it a bit differently. I will be trying to leverage all my wisdom, all my world conquest wisdom, and I'm going to try to finish this once and for all, and yeah, show you guys, hopefully show you guys how to I mean, most of you are more experienced than me, but for those of you who are beginners, show you how to finish world conquest. So yet another training, this time for green, and that is just fantastic. This is one more reason to get training, not training, sorry, to get 70 gold instead of an artifact in scenario 5, and a ranger tactics training level 2. So that is fantastic news. As you can see, had that been an artifact, it would have raised some issues, but I had the Drake Clasher nearby. It would have been the only case when I would have basically put 2 artifacts on a single unit, but there was just no other way. I did not have any other green unit nearby, and instead of putting it on a red unit, much better to put the artifacts on a green unit. At least this is how I felt about it. Now I'm still trying to mooch a bit of experience and trying to put this great troll experience into the right unit. Not really sure which one I designated for that purpose. Let me see here. Definitely a green unit. Okay, some more experience into the depth and the leader. Okay, leader, which is a good choice, to be fair. So onwards to the ships. We are moving to scenario 5. So we have traveled great oceans and brought low mighty empires. Should we not wait until we regain our forces? One last effort. We better finish our campaign when we hold initiative before winters arrive. Great. So I hope you, ladies and gentlemen, liked it. And I shall see you next time with scenario 5, where we will be much wiser and hopefully we will manage to finish. See you, ladies and gentlemen, later.